As you rightly say, a bit of a marker laid down with this one, I would say.
Yeah. I think we've managed to cover everything pretty much with that as well, but what we haven't really talked on is how disappointing Huddersfield were. They clearly missed Lola here from a creativity point of view, but that should have been overcome by having extra players out there, and to concede, to be, well, 18-0 down against 12, and then concede another try. A really good try from deep by St Helens as well that they managed to score against 11 men. It just emphasised their dominance, and Huddersfield gave in this game as the game went on. That's not a good sign for them either, but I hope and imagine they'll be different if they come to play Saints again in the playoffs or something, but emphasis on the dominance there.
Yeah, I think I'm hoping this is just a bit of a mid-season funk. Saints have had one. I'm hoping that it's Huddersfield have gone through one, because we need, come the playoffs, we need some exciting, compelling matches to watch, and
we need the top
if it's like
being competitive with each other. Yeah,
exactly. And at the moment, two of them aren't exactly tearing up any trees, are they?
No.
But yes.
But I think a couple of the tries that Saints scored were they weren't properly out wide, but they created mismatches in numbers against a team that had more men. So that clearly, I don't know if an element of that is lack of experience in some places for Huddersfield numbering up. I'm saying that I'm talking around it. Is Will Price is his numbering up off? Is the calls not right for where defenders need to be? I don't know, but Saints' tackling was better than it's been all year, so if they're going to keep to that standard, then they're going to be even harder to score against, which I didn't know could happen, but clearly might.
Yes, it's something we all need to be prepared for, I'm afraid.
One other news story out of the game is about Jermaine McGilvery might be out for a significant period after picking up a knee injury. So they haven't confirmed what the extent of that knee injury might be yet, but he did look in a lot of pain when he went off during the game. He did, it does often with knees, you can think that that's going to be an 8-week plus situation, so that might take him out at least until the playoffs. It's a rough one, that with one of their experienced leaders getting that sort of injury.
Yeah, and those knees are not getting any younger either, so yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, they need. You think it feels like they need Latelli and Hill back. I think they need them back even more with Jerry out as well, but we'll see. Lola here should be a short-term thing, so that shouldn't hamper them too long-term. Okay, there was another game being played on Friday night. This was a statement win in a totally different fashion, I think, for Wigan. It was 28 points to 0 at half-time, 60 points to 0 at full-time. 11,314 was the crowd. Robert Hicks was the referee in his 300th Super League game. He probably hasn't had any more straightforward ones, to be completely honest, than this one. There wasn't, after the first 12 seconds or after the first 5 seconds or so, there wasn't much for him to worry about, other than one little scuffle in the second half and maybe a J Field try that he was short on, but we'll come to that. Loads of fan views, bit of a mix of Hull and Wigan, so let's get started, shall we? We need to do the stats. Sorry, Wigan made over twice as many metres, like 900 more metres, nearly. 3.2 metres per carry better average gain, 12 breaks to 0 and 11 tries to 0. Hull went below 900 metres and below 90% team tackle success rate, which you expect in a spanking like this. Some really good individual numbers to talk about.
I don't know what you're referring to. So for Wigan, Bevan French, 7 tries. That's 7.
Tries.
Like, I don't know if you're old enough to remember the video printer on Grandstand, and like if it was like 7-0, they had to write the 7 out just so you didn't think it was 1-0. It's that kind of weird kind of. It can't be 7. Yes, it's 7. 7 tries. 7 tackle busts, 149 metres and 5 clean breaks. Just not a bad day at the office.
He was taken off
Liam
after
Marshall,
that 7th try as well, so he missed the last 20 minutes or so of the game, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Otherwise, he might have scored. Well, Liam Marshall came on to that wing instead and scored a try, so Bevan French would have had 8.
So Liam Marshall managed to grab himself a try. He also made 6 tackle busts, 198 metres and 4 clean breaks. How long was Liam Marshall on for?
The whole game.
Or did he move over to the other side? He moved to the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay, that makes sense. 198 metres in 20 minutes would be impressive. Morgan Smithies with 136 metres. Jay Field with just the 2 tries, pathetic. 4 try assists, 5 tackle busts, and 257 metres. Those stats are just ridiculous. For Hull FC, Jordan Lane with 45 tackles and 14 of which for marker, and Brad Fitch had 42 tackles.
At Stozza 1981 said, sat at home with COVID hoping Hull FC would cheer me up. Don't know what's worse. Congratulations to Wigan. You can only beat what's in front of you. I'm sick of hearing about injuries now. Absolute disgrace of result. This mid-season dip in form since 2018 is a major concern. There's a long prognosis cancer at Hull FC and is in desperate need of major treatment. Well, first of all, Stozza, I hope you're fully recovered from COVID and I hope this didn't delay your recovery. But strong words there.
They're not alone in their mid-season dip in form. I do agree.
But this has happened consistently for Hull FC. I'd say maybe even before 2018. Even with the two with the cup runs, only one of those seasons did they maintain anything to the playoffs after the cup run. I think it's gone on for a long time where they've been arguably the worst team in the league in the last third of the season, and this has come a month before that.
Yeah, about a people's closer record of it. I just my always recollection of FC is always that they're so in and out, but obviously later in the season they're more out than in. B. Dawson 1902 says, who choose to be the FC fan? From getting battered by Leeds to winning the Derby at Magic and backing it up by getting twatted 60-0 at Wigan. The worst thing is we can't even be that mad as fans because it was kind of expected given who was playing. Oh, and only Hull could try and convince a player to join by letting him score 7 past them. Smiley faces. Should be 7 smiley faces.
EFC78J said, Bevan French decided to become a history maker by scoring 7 tries in one game. That's seen the Cherry and Whites nil the Black and Whites of Hull FC, who had a load of pressure on them being away from home to continue the winning streak. But they weren't on a winning streak, they won 1 game. But they couldn't get anything out of their locker. Jay Field is fucking dynamite. That barely no one can stop him from assisting or scoring a try. He's also got the pace to run it. His length of the field try that he scored, he was nowhere near top gear for that run in. No one got close.
I presume people have been making puns about 7 French. That has to have been happening.
Yes, yeah. I've seen them. I've made them. It's happened. Good. That's all right then. That's all right, because I'll be very disappointed otherwise. Esther says, lost Saturday after 50 seconds and never looked in a game. Wigan too strong and too fast. 7 tries and all gimmies. I think that's a bit harsh. Walker made mistakes, surely got crucified by some FC fans for less. Well done, the Mullets. Yeah, I saw quite a bit angled at Jack Walker. I don't think he was good, but I don't think he was any worse than... I mean, Josh Sim dropped a ball in contact on his own line that led to a try. That was worse than any of the mistakes Walker made, I thought. Harry Smith put some really tough kicks in to take as well that Walker and the other back 3 didn't get anywhere near. So, I think it's harsh to single out anyone at Hull FC for this game because they had kids on the bench, scratched together back line of Loneys and what have you. I think it'd be harsh to single anyone out. The Satai thing, I'm glad one of the Hull FC fans touched on it because I was going to touch on it. First carry of the game, it kind of was game over for Hull FC at that point because Satai took it in, right, ran it hard back. Willie Isa hit him really hard. I'm not sure it wasn't a bit shouldery, to be honest, but my Uncle Ian thinks he did try and get his arm around. But either way, Satai actually knocked Isa onto the floor. The Hull FC fans cheered, right? And then two other Wigan defenders got around Satai and controlled him, and the tackle was made. Satai was hurt. He actually got taken off for a HIA, but to me, he was holding his chest and couldn't get his breath back and was limping because he'd hurt his ankle. So I don't understand where they got the HIA from, but he passed his HIA because didn't seem like he'd hurt his head anyway. Came back onto the field, right? Limped back onto the field, actually, should I say. So, he tried to play on. He had one more carry, ankle aggravated, trying to push off the contact in that carry. And then had to go straight back on. I don't think he was right to come back on anyway. I hope for Hull's sake that it's not a serious injury, because kind of pushing him back on when he didn't need to come back on. It seemed...
I was going to say, what was the score when he came back on?
It was 0-0. It was...
Oh, it was still 0-0?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, when he came back on, it might have just been 6-0. The first try might have just been scored, actually, come to think of it. But it wasn't a long time after, because he went off straight away, so his HIA 15 minutes starts at the start of the game. Wigan didn't score till the 15th minute. So
right.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks Esther for that one. Where are we at?
Frogmore. The right side of the field could just be renamed the French Freeway after that performance.
Jen K said, this game felt like some sort of unopposed training session. Hull seemed to be going through the motions as though they decided on their way over not to bother trying. It reminded very much of the 80s at Central Park when we used to run in try after try, showing off our skills. Special night at the DW, and I'm glad I was there to see it.
Says, a real arm wrestle of a game could have gone either way. French had a real chance at a Fire's record there. Leave the lad on.
Yeah. Matt Speakman said, that 80-minute performance we were after has arrived. Top stuff from the whole team, who kept the foot on the throat from the first second. Hull looked beaten after 15 seconds. Shows how far this team has come in 12 months. My man crush writing himself into the record book obviously grabs the headline, but our right wing has scored an obscene 15 tries in 4 games, and that includes Magic. J Field, credit for his try assists. On French, I was in Parramatta when he signed and was buzzing talking to the locals about him, so I've always been his biggest fan. To see him break the record was unbelievable, and for his family to be there makes it more special. I'd love to keep him, but I'm resigned to losing him to the NRL and would be happy for him. He owes this club nothing after the cup win and deserves a chance. I will tell my kids about Bevan French the way my dad told me about Ferguson, Kenny and Hanley. I always thought he was banging on, but I know I'll be the same. Having said all that, sign a contract if you want, Bevan. I'd love 2 more years of you playing in Cherry and White. Yeah, double one there from Matt clearly, but his comments about French were worthy of inclusion, I think.
Yep. And a much shorter and much sweeter Tom Andrews says, ha ha, ha ha, ha ha ha. And just for clarity, that's 7 ha's. I don't know why he chose 7. Maybe he only had space for 7. I'm not sure.
Well, I went out with some of our mates on Saturday for a bit of a drinking session in Lancaster, and my mate Cass texted everyone in the morning and said, it's a minimum 7 pints today, lads. So, Callum Percy 99 said, unfortunately couldn't make it as I was at a wedding. I thought the drumming was a bit offbeat, this week. He said, but what a result that was. Great to bounce back like that after last week. Bevan and Field were unbelievable again, and it was good to hear Mago put in some decent minutes, as that is what he's been lacking. P.S. I call it karma for Scoots and Joshua saying they wanted to break my drum, laughing face emojis.
So come on then.
Well, we've covered a lot of it, so I won't go over. What I would say is, I mean, it's easy to say the whole Wigan team was good, but the whole Wigan team was good. Smithies was exceptional in the middle. Mago did half an hour or so either side of half time. Like, he did 20 odd minutes after half time, not having to do much defending, granted, which is where he gets himself tired. But and he bombed a try. He could have run it in himself under the sticks at the end of the first half, but he passed it to Custon. The pass was a bit behind. The chance went down, but all it did is meant, like, on the next Wigan attack, French scored another try, didn't it? Because Marshall bombed one in the second half, right? He broke down the middle, popped up in the middle of the field. Great play by Wigan to set him free in the middle. He had Field on one side of him, but I think I don't know what he thought, but he didn't pass it. He should have done. But instead he took the tackle, and actually that led to the record-setting try on the next play anyway. So I suppose he knew the script.